Hello and welcome to your twin flame reading for the divine masculine and the divine feminine and the current union energy between you and your twin flame. And today I have the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and some lovely crystals here as well, as you can see. And we are moving into Saturn stationing direct. So that is happening on the 28th. And so themes around work, discipline, could even be like legal stuff, things that have to do with Saturn, or like they're gonna feel more forward moving essentially. And so I think it'll be interesting to see for your own life how it is also applying to your life purpose as well, and any other areas that you've been kind of like working at for a while but not quite seeing the full result of, but that where you've been putting in that steady work, maybe not exactly day to day, but that kind of vibe, and maybe you're not even sure why kind of thing, if there's some sort of something like that in your life. And it could also be something even that seems more spiritual, but that is about manifesting something. Perhaps even your twin flame journey, although I don't really generally think about like Saturn's not the first thing that comes to mind with that. That's an interesting way to look at it, because it is about fully manifesting that, including into the physical. So let's move on from that topic. And also Mars and Saturn are squaring, and that perfects the day after on the 29th. So then that's something to keep in mind as well. So have some of that forward moving energy and then retrograde energy, but going deeper definitely with that sense of purpose essentially. And how is your purpose like impassioned? Like what drives you? What motivates you? Those are really good questions to ask yourself and to go deeper with, because that's going to actually help you call in deeper levels of support, not just right now, but getting to know yourself in that place is going to help you to support yourself in the long run as well, because then you know what it is that you're supporting, and you know that you don't just have selfish, or I guess you could also say you don't just have selfless motives. It's not selfish versus selfless is what I mean. It's all one thing. It's all love. And so you just need to put things in the correct order is all. So it's just you and God, and then you and yourself, or yourself, just, you yourself, your relationship with yourself. You and yourself sounds kind of funny. And then from that, as you can see by just what I said, is you and your twin flame, and then everyone else. And this is something that Jeff and Shalia teach very clearly in their teachings and in Twin Flame Ascension School, with that included. And so, yeah, it is very important to put things in the correct order. And I think that it can be very easy to sidestep one of those things and try to put your twin flame first, or try to put everyone else before you put yourself. But that doesn't actually feel good. So that's why you always want to come back to home base, come back to your heart. And your purpose is showing you some clues right now. So all of that being said, let's also see what the cards have to say. And we're going to start with the middle card today. So the Union card is the Hermit. So Archangel Raziel, spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. And this is number 9. And number 9 really does have to do with the kind of wisdom that does support you in serving all that you are meant to serve, who you are meant to serve. And so everyone's soul design is specific, right? But it also has to do with how you're co-creating with God as you go, as you're called to. And so it's not that your design changes, but it also is, it's alive, right? And so it's not like a stagnant thing. It's not like, oh, I wanted to do this when I was a kid, and this is what I'm gonna do, and this is what I wanted to do, and I'm making okay money at it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And then it's like, this is kind of boring. This isn't fulfilling for this reason and that reason. So that's an example just to remind you that your purpose is meant to feel expansive, and it's meant to continue, and you don't want to be held back by any kind of limiting beliefs or any kind of limitations that seem to be outside of you. And that all starts from within and claiming your divinity within, and that you have the right to be creative. You have the right to be successful. You have the right to be an abundant person. But you also, of course, don't you want to really look truthfully at what that means for you, because that's different for everyone. Some people are going to feel very abundant in the middle of the forest in a smaller house, and that's really cool. And some people are going to feel very abundant, living near the city center in a penthouse. So it really is case by case. And maybe, you're kind of a little bit of both, or maybe you think you're one way, you try something out and you realize you're actually, there's something else that's actually really what is the deeper desire there. And the only way is to embark on that journey. And so this card really asks you to go deeper into that journey within, and to not be afraid of yourself. If you've been longing for your twin flame in a certain area of your life, and even if you're with your twin flame, you can still think that you need them to do something particular for you. So I just want to say, wherever you're at in your journey, this applies. And it's about bringing yourself there first, and really appreciating how wise you've become in this place, and discovering your full self here. And sometimes to get the wisdom out of a wise old man, you might need to sit down and have tea with him. You might need to ask a few questions, not be nice in a way that's not authentic, but yeah, you're building a relationship there, right? And maybe he's I don't know, I've tried to tell people this stuff before, they don't seem to care, or whatever. And this old man in this instance is you, this part of yourself. And so yeah, you have to even woo yourself sometimes to really appreciate and understand the wisdom that you hold within. And it's not just yours to covet, it's all God's wisdom. And so it's God's grace that bestows it onto you. And so you have full access to that wisdom at any time. But it's time to go deeper there. Just like this card says, spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. So it's pretty clear. And again, so give you next steps. Also towards building your abundance too. If you're having any blocks there, then this is extra good to heed attention to. So we're going to move on now to the Divine Feminine card. Oh, hello. Ace of Water. Falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and an enhanced intuition, a new home. So just feel into how this card makes you feel. It's a really cool image. I really love it. Oh, it's kind of blurry though. Why? Oh, there we go. Not blurry now. Okay. Well, I wasn't looking at that before. Sorry if the other card. I don't know, because I was not looking into the camera. But there it is now. You can see. So, yeah. Falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship. Well, this is obviously having to do with your twin flame. So as you go deeper into this self-discovery, you're simultaneously going deeper with your falling in love. And this is falling in love with yourself, but it's also falling in love with your twin flame through falling in love with yourself and through reclaiming your full self, and not sort of like leaving it dangling out there for your twin flame. And if you're kind of not sure what I mean, or, and maybe you are, but if you're not, then just think about it this way. If there's a part of you that you are like, you're longing for your twin flame or something, or maybe you're even longing for someone or something else, like to come save you, like a particular job offer, or a parent doing something for you, or whatever it could be, then just really feel into how that doesn't feel good, because it's God coming through always, right? It's not something that's outside of you. It doesn't mean that the job isn't going to come through and, whatever isn't going to come through, but it's just a different way of experiencing life. It's a better way of experiencing life because it's peaceful. And again, it's putting things in their proper order and not feeling like you need to wait for your good ever. You never need to wait to feel good, because then you'll experience feeling so bad, and then you'll feel kind of good when some of the things you want to have happen do happen, and you're not actually really cultivating that good feeling. You're kind of making yourself feel bad so that the good things are kind of highlighted, and trying to live off of that high. And in the long run, that's going to burn you out pretty bad, and it's not actually taking you higher sustainably. So yeah, you don't want to do that. And if you have more questions, or and if this is resonating for you, we'll consider booking a session so I can actually help you go deeper here and clear blocks to being with your twin flame and to your abundance, and really just to feel to feeling good. That's what is important here. Because if you have what you think it is that you desire, but you don't actually feel good, and then you're still wanting something else. And so that's why it's so important to have this foundation of peace, so that that's actually what you're living from and experiencing all of these other blessings coming to you from. So yeah, definitely, if you want to just even pause this and check out the links below, I'll be here, so you can always do that. You can book that discovery session. You can also, for a little while longer, do one of these readings, get a video recorded 5-card reading for yourself, and it's at the introductory rate still until September 30th. So if you want to check that out, then do, and I get it to you shortly, within a few days at the most. So it's pretty amazing, and the insight is just really okay, I mean, it's like this reading, but it's specifically for you and your twin flame union. So yeah, Ace of Water for the Divine Feminine. So this also speaks to the very beginning of something new or renewed as well. And it does say a new home, so keep that in mind too. And there's something, again, really fresh about that. It doesn't necessarily, of course, mean you're going to move. Although if that resonates for you, also feel into that. And don't be afraid of those feelings that come up, oh, I actually really would like to move in the future, but I can't right now. And so then you sort of suppress the feeling. You don't need to do that, but you don't, obviously, just because you feel something doesn't mean you're going to make a rash decision. So allow yourself to really feel into whatever comes up with these kinds of messages for you specifically, and how they're resonating, and go into that feeling and see what's there. Again, go into that self-discovery. So the Divine Masculine's card, dun, 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 5 of Earth, fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. Well, this card is never it's not the most pleasant card in the deck, but hey, we're not about just being pleasant here, right? We're about what actually feels good, and what actually feels good sometimes is feeling through the thing that doesn't feel so good. And this picture is actually like kind of cool, but because of the connotation I have with it, after like seeing this card so many times in various readings, it's like I pull it and I'm like, oh, okay. But it's not, it's like, how are you gonna, again, work through something as the divine masculine or holding space as the divine feminine, unless something comes up in your life to like nudge you in the direction that you really meant to go in. So this fear, and this could be specifically about money or abundance somehow, like your abundance is the divine masculine within. It could be about your ability to provide. It could be specifically related directly to your home. And it could be about, accepting help from others. But a lot of times what this card really indicates for me is there's actually like a block here about like kind of, it can be like an energy leak, like thinking that you need to continue some sort of pattern of acceptance of help that actually isn't serving you anymore. And so you really need to go into that place and undo that pattern. It doesn't mean that you can't accept help from the same source or the same people, but it may mean that. And the only way to find out again is to really go deeper into that place and not sidestep like how you're feeling there. And this is that same feeling of like, waiting for your good outside of you instead of taking ownership. So the message for the divine masculine here is to accept greater levels of change into your life. Like it's safe to change, and it's safe to cycle through those kinds of changes and to go deeper with ownership, of your whole life, and like of protecting in a way that feels good, that doesn't feel like, defensive or ego or something, but really like cultivating within you and around you on deeper levels, and also being willing to go there in your heart with your twin flame, with your divine feminine as well. And so for some of the divine masculines, that may have in the past seemed very scary, or maybe like you've even been numbed out to it. And so this is going deeper with that. And even if you feel like you're not scared anymore and you're watching this and you're in harmonious union and you're doing really well, it's safe to like go to that place and appreciate how far you've come and see if there is anything there for you that is coming up, because there's something about this card that's indicating, for you to kind of shining a light on something specific for you in this place. And even if you have, a rock steady foundation, like financially, peacefully, with your twin flame and all of that, sometimes fears still creep up, like, oh, what if blah, 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 blah. And if there's a fear that creeps up more than one time, then it's safe to just look at that and resolve it, and also be really grateful for whatever foundation you do have with the divine in that place, for helping you to find more safety and peace to relax into, and for undoing the fear pattern that's like, trying to be like, hey, over here, you should be afraid. Hope you like my fear voice. So I feel like that's pretty clear. There was one last thing I wanted to say about this card. And so the reason I brought up change specifically, like changing in cycles, was because of the number 5. And that's what that usually indicates to me. But there's also something here about then creativity and change, and also grounding more deeply into cycles of change. So that's something that happens as you harmonize your union with your twin flame, is more things, it's like you're going deeper, and sometimes it's like you're going to that underbelly, and like so there's even more that feels like it's changing. And that's why you also need to accept like grounding more deeply too into that, like just fully being okay with that, it's nothing special that you need to do. It's just like, okay, I'm up for this and I accept this, because the alternative is not a real alternative. That's insanity. Like choosing to not harmonize with your twin flame, but like being aware of it is basically saying I choose not myself. I don't choose myself, because your twin flame and you are one whole self, while you both are also yourselves individually. And that is also true. You are one consciousness together, which is a really cool thing. So that's going to conclude the reading for today. Reach out if you have any questions. Leave comments below if you would like to, and definitely like the video if you liked it. And subscribe if you haven't yet and you want notifications for more videos. I'm doing them still very frequently. I'm not sure if I'm probably not going to go back doing them every single day. I feel like there's a little more potency when I do them like 3 or 4 times a week. So that's a good reason to subscribe though, so that you get the notifications. And if you need to hit some notification button, I should probably figure out what so I say the right directions on my videos, but you get the point. And wow, it's not very focused there when they're down below. Well, it's all right. You got both. You got the nice hazy vision, and now you get the clear vision if you stuck all the way to the end. So yeah. Well, take care and have a wonderful week ahead too, and I will see you very soon. Bye.